Hello, hello, hello. We are back. A little bit of a break between our previous series and this one, but we're into the semi-finals for the ESL One Hamburg European Qualifiers. SFT facing up against Team Kinguin as they have marched themselves through this qualifier and now find themselves playing up against each other. This is going to be an interesting one, a very interesting one. Nyx Assassin is a hero that both of these teams love, so we've seen the battle there for it. Kinguin get it first. But Trent, the rest of the heroes here, Lone Druid banned. Is that a target one up against Team Kinguin?
Oh yeah, the exhaust tier. So we're fairly familiar with these boys, casting a ton of their games lately. We seem to always find our way into the lobbies with them. Not sure how, but that exotic tier Lone Druid is indeed a sight to be seen. But the Night Stalker slipping through is a bit worrisome. I feel like that was a hero that gave pretty much everyone problems during that little Asus ROG tournament that we were working with there. And currently through ESL, I don't really feel like we've been seeing that much Night Stalker just because of how often he's banned in the first phase. So it'd be interesting to see how SFT work around him. And then how Team Kinguin want to try and counter out when we've already lost a couple different Vision heroes in the Venomancer, somewhat the Monkey King. And find their way through, maybe with a Clockwork or something, perhaps in the forward role.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Bat and the AA taken out, you know, that's even more Vision gone. I guess one thing worth pointing out here for SFT is that they do have their full roster playing in this game. Pablo has been standing in for the past couple of days, but Peksu, he returns. We'll see how he slots back in, as Pablo did do an exceptional job, as they had their nice little run through, defeating Tuho, OG, now up against Kinguin, as Kinguin, they took down LGB as well as Mouse, which was a pretty tight series. They defeated them 2-1 in that one. But we've got another series after this one, but we'll come to that later. MF against Secret will be coming straight up after this, if you were wondering. Shadow Shaman now for SFT, as they get themselves a nice combination of heroes there. Plenty of nuke damage to lay in for a Reaper Scythe kill, a bit of push power, a bit of team fight.
10 seconds remaining.
Looks pretty good. It's rare to get enough nuke to help with the Scythe out of a support without it being like some sort of an ulti, but Shadow Shaman is one of those examples where very high damage nuke coming out just from the Q. And you are not going to be the Clockwork for yourselves, Kinguin, because we're going to grab it. Give ourselves extra vision, keep this thing going. A little bit of pick-off potential, try and make you play around the cogs, and probably try and hunt down that silencer in the back lines before these fights get started. And that also is going to push our Nyx Assassin, of course, into the forward role here for Kinguin. So some ganking potential is pretty nice here already from Kinguin. And they'll go with the Lycan. So some super mobile mid. Like this is like a Storm Spirit ban or something for sure. Queen of Pain maybe, another decent option here. That's really what I need for Kinguin to round this one out, I think.
Yeah, something that, like with this so far, you blink, you dual, you global, and then you have that mid hero that's mobile, that's able to kind of catch up with the Legion with a blink and do a lot of damage.
So many good options left too.
Ember,
like, everything's left. Ember, Queen, Puck, Storm. Take your pick, whatever you like. And they also, of course, are getting this Lycan up against the Night Stalker. We see it all the time. But because of Lycan's bonuses during night, it is a very beneficial counter pick to have for yourself. But I don't disagree with the way the banning phase went. I think a lot of times when teams have the Night Stalker, you're going to see that Lycan banned out in the second phase. But SFT have made a good choice here in removing that Bat Rider because it's such a natural combination with the Silencer. I would say Legion Commander is secondary. They probably would have wanted the Bat instead. And then the Broodmother is just something you don't want to mess with right now if you don't have the right heroes for it.
Yeah, because then you're potentially giving away Brood Lycan, right, in that second phase.
Yeah.
Which really would have been nasty. Well, there is one of the heroes taken out, the Puck. Very good against the Necro with the silence and all of the magic damage, but also naturally able to escape out of cogs without needing to buy a Force Staff, which is...
Or be level 6, which is one of the tougher, like for Ember or Storm, that's the big thing for them.
True.
So that early clock rotation even where he just kind of walks on you and cogs you, Puck is going to be okay. You'll have to wait for that aggressive orb, which could have happened, but yeah. I think the Puck was also the best one of all those. Out of all the ones we listed, I think Ember is the one who next has the most team fight in a sense. At least he offers catch and control, which Puck would have done very well. Storm can, so kind of the next tier, and then Queen of Pain for the most part is just raw damage. So I'd probably aim somewhere around one of the two spirits for this pick.
Storm or Ember? Well, we'll see now. As the Viper comes out. The Viper, Trent.
Ugh. I mean, who wants to be hexed up or something if you're playing one of these Embers or Storms? Or Ember, yeah, Ember Spirit or Storm Spirit. But Puck, not going to be here. So we'll just Viper. That's cool. We'll just walk at you. Our team fight control will consist of Nyx and Legion. And just going to chase you down.
And Viper here, you know, quite often we look at Viper and we say itemization. Out of laning stage, itemization is really very important for Viper. Deciding what items you need to go for, whether you want to scale through to the mid game or if you want to end the game relatively early, choosing those items and what you need is pretty difficult, to be perfectly honest. But here with Lycan and Legion, two kind of steroid heroes behind the Viper, you can go for a tanky build and kind of rely on the Howl and the press the attack to, you know, amplify your damage output just a little bit. So you don't have to be as worried about the lack of scaling from the Viper there. I feel is a really nice addition to the draft. But SFT, what are we looking for here? This top
scaling in late game, it looks a little scary, doesn't it? For SFT.
Especially when they can't have their Monkey King or their CK, which they've been winning games
What
with.
about the Arc Warden?
Oh. So then
we just like rat these guys out? How do you go high ground against Arc Warden? Lycan have to come up. He'd need Aegis. You could force him to pop his ulti if he gets in trouble.
Hello. Got it.
Yep. That is the hero.
And Magnetic Field is relatively good against Duel, against Viper. Maybe not as good against the Lycan, who's very speedy and with the ultimate can just run into the bubble. But if someone duels, you know, one of your targets, or if you've got your clone out, you can just put that Magnetic Field, you know, off the Legion but on your hero, and then all those missed attacks come in.
Finally starting to get this hero, I think. I don't know. Arc Warden's still such a... I love it. I love the summit when someone said, is Arc Warden a good pick here? 4 pro players on the couch? I don't know. They don't know. No one knows. But we're seeing more of him. You know, he is finally... Thompson especially, it makes it a little bit easier because you know this guy's an Arc Warden spammer. Good player. Loves to abuse these heroes that people seem to understand less in the Monkey King. The AW. So, looking forward to it here.
Do you know?
Will be a unique walk lock too. Do I know what? Do
you know what kind of itemization he goes for? Because we've seen lots of deviations and people trying new things. You know, like for instance, we moved away from the whole bots necro, the rapiers, and all that when it got changed to like maelstroms and dragon lances. But even No Tail, was it during Kiev? He was like toying around with the
pipe and stuff.
No, the safe lane phase boots. So he didn't go boots of travel. He went phase boots, then into maelstrom. So he had this kind of early game fighting ability. Even without the clone, he was still able to kind of stand his ground. But then, yeah, you're right. We did have EE go for pipe on Arc Warden during TI. So there was that as well, where people are toying with item builds. But I'm not sure about what Thompson does.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing now. I think it's just like a super flexible hero at this point, honestly. Kind of the whole point, maybe.
Oh, whoopsie! Right, we're gonna shift to that screen while I get my little console commands in. I forgot I restarted the game. We had a 3-hour break, so I closed Dota 2.
Looks like he's done all kinds of shenanigans. I'm taking a peek now while we got time.
Cool.
He still tried the Necros relatively recently. Looks like that was just some random ass. Oh no, that game didn't finish. That would explain it. So, not a Necro, because that doesn't work anymore, right?
Having them, I mean, you can have multiple Necros.
Oh, it still works. It's just not as
because you have the whole cooldown thing with the like separate cooldowns and
that's why
still have to wait for the timer and stuff like that.
So it's pretty ass now. Looks like he's still just doing the Maelstrom stuff. So you go Maelstrom, Mjolnir, Pike, MKBs, Butterflies, those sorts of items. He looks like for a couple days tried and lost with Midas into Blade Mail into Shivas. He did it like 4 games in a row. He lost all 4. And that was it. Okay, no, I see a couple wins with it actually. So he tried a couple. Okay, Blade Mail Shivas looks like a pretty cool build. I've never seen that before.
So
looks like he was pubbing around with it.
The one I can see that was ticketed on
14-minute Shivas.
Oh wow.
God.
Jeez. What?
9-minute Midas, 14-minute Shivas.
That's insane.
I mean, these are pub games, but still. 18-minute Shivas. Damn.
There's only one ticketed game for SFT that I can see they've picked Arc Warden. And he went for the normal Maelstrom, Pike, Travels, MKB, Butterfly, BKB, Lincolns, and had a Moonshard activated on him as well. So it looks pretty standard from kind of what we're used to here from Arc Wardens, from the little that we ever see it, in our pub games and stuff. Don't you dare forget overlay. No, I've not forgotten. Again, I've done my job correctly for the first time ever in the history of Dota 2. We have changed the overlay. How are we looking lane-wise? Nico Clock, you mentioned, has a Night Stalker just behind him. Might be a bit of a dual lane going on there for a little bit. Play aggressively around this rune spot, definitely, as the game begins, because there is just a solo Lycan here. You'll see that contest come from the Radiant side into that Dire Bounty rune, more often than not in these games nowadays. And then you have the kind of addressing of that issue where Radiant, they play aggressively into this nice little Bounty rune spot here, and then you get the 2-for-2 trade regardless. But mid-tops an Arc Warden, Illidan on that Necro in the safe lane with Peksu, Shadow Shaman. Over on Kinguin, Katsor on his signature Nyx Assassin. They try and get him that every game they can. Elasash, Silencer, similar thing, right? Maybe not as...
no, it's pretty... I would say it's just as much so. I feel like I watch this guy play Silencer in half their games.
And Patos Legion feels like he's played that a lot with a Nature's Prophet as well. Nisha Viper and Exotic Deer, he plays Clinks, he plays Lycan, he plays Lone Druid. He really does love the objective-focused heroes where he can just go and hit towers, maybe do a bit of ratting, a bit of backdoor, regen, killing, slaying buildings, even though they've got that on them as well.
Kind of like that Envy phase for a while, where that's the only things he would play would be things that could kind of... Like, it's when you're a good player at judging the map, where the creeps are going and where you can push in objectives. Best help your team.
The Howl already coming out here from the Lycan straight away. Got a bit of extra harass damage in onto Illidan down the bottom lane as Katsor lays into the Necro. Peksu.
Gotta get those range creeps on the first wave, man. Just howl for your whole team. It's genius.
Was that ward in? Oh my god, that is very tight. Peksu gets the D ward. That's a slick sentry, I've got to say. That barely catches the Observer ward up here. And you've also got the ability to de-ward anything a little bit shallower.
Damn, that's risky business. I'm pretty sure you could theoretically miss it if it was up there too, so.
Very nice. Close. STST, not playing Nyx this game on the Night Stalker. Now he's actually having to battle up against 3 heroes. Elasash makes the TP rotation down. SFT having a few worries here as the Arcane Curse comes out. ST goes for the TP. And there's no stun. Mana Burn was level 1 by the Nyx.
What does it mean pushing him out of the lane though? Not too much. Just grabs some regen, goes back. Still, there you go. And now get another Mana Burn on Illidan though. That is what they need.
With the Howl hits coming as well. That's really annoying. I do want to look away though from that bottom lane. With all the action there, top lane is a little bit interesting. Lycan against Clockwork, a bit of a scrap between those 2 melee heroes. But Lycan should do a reasonable job here. Doesn't care too much about mana in the first 7 levels or something. He's just pure right click. So Cogs push back, not going to harm him too much. But Silencer here, shackled and hit by the Void. ST has no orb of venom or anything like that on these heroes, so chasing here into Elasash going to be difficult, especially with Katsor having the perfect body blocks. Elasash hit by the Void, a tree to block him, but he's still running forward with the first blood onto your Night Stalker. Oh, the Dire team, how do you combat this? He's so tanky. You can't kill him. You've got no stuns. You can't actually stop him from escaping.
No one's going to tangle that? Really, guys? Come on. But missed value, I mean, really.
The point I was coming to was mid lane, Trent. What? I'm going to leave this to you. What's happened?
What? I don't. Who cares? I don't want to. Viper versus Arc Warden. This is not anything exciting, I'm sure. What do we got here? 2 to 3, 15 to 8. Wow, it's Viper in the mid lane.
Oh my goodness, that is really painful. Well, what was Thompson spamming the other day? He wasn't the well-played spammer. He was spamming something else.
No, I don't know.
When he was like triple killing people with Monkey King.
Well, he's not spamming anything now, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. He's very quiet right now, isn't he? He is a Viper player himself, so a bit of karma. Feeling the pain there in this 1v1 lane. Peksu has been found. Looks like the stun was already launched by Katsor there. Illidan Just going to try and zone them back, do as much damage as he can, but he's going to take a few glaive hits, and that really doesn't help this lane at all. As Kinguin, they are coming out on top everywhere.
Dire are scanning.
Dire scan.
So is this is not a thing, it seems, eh? Arc Warden versus Viper. 4-3 now. Alright, like in terms of his last hits and eyes.
5?
Oh, he got one, did he? Oh,
Yeah.
my apologies.
That's a 25% increase, I'll have you know.
I mean, he must have done this before, I'm sure. This is probably, I mean, obviously a pretty common pub hero right now, the Viper. And if this guy picks Arc Warden early on in the draft, which you probably would have to at some points, when it's not banned in his pubs, I'm sure. The second people see Thompson, you go, okay, I got the Monkey King ban. Somebody get the Arc Warden ban. That would be great, thank you.
And then he picks Viper.
Yeah.
Or Razor. He was very well known for his Viper and Razor back in the day, but he's moved on. He's moved up in the world, for sure. Away from Danny D towards Illidan. But Illidan, speaking of, has been left alone a little bit. The support
Exotic deer top.
Kinguin, they're rotating around. You are right. The Night Stalker and the Clockwork trying to pummel the Lycan, but in come the supports. Nyx and Silencer trying to get in onto the Night Stalker. Flies over the trees, but the damage there from the Silencer. Glaives do so much. Forget your armor.
-2.
That's on 5 armor. Yeah, screw that. I'm doing pure damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Don't you have the Necro left alone bottom lane, though? Legion, level 4. Still going to be relatively happy with how things have gone for her. Plenty of last hits. Looking pretty nice moving into the treads. Pexu's going to be able to get some stacks and pulls off now as the supports have made their move away from that bottom lane, trying to secure the safe lane. But they'll go in for an attack here. Nisha battling with Thompson with a nice Nyx stun. They will secure this kill. ST will be able to walk himself away as Thompson still has the clone going out. A couple of spark rates to try and do damage back into Nisha, but that's not happening.
This Observer Ward, it's not even dead yet, and they already playing the freshman over here. Like, they have an idea here for Kinguin, and it is punish Arc Warden, slay Arc Warden, pressure him as much as possible, and give him nothing, which has been very successful. 9-3. He has 2 more last hits than Shadow Shaman right now.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It feels very similar to what Fnatic were doing to Mineski against Ice Ice Ice. You know, you choose that one player that is kind of the linchpin or the explosive. Oh dear, Patos' invis and the smoke just instantly pops. Whoops. That's absolutely right. Yeah, it's a big whoops. But yeah, these explosive players, focusing them and making sure they don't have a good time from early game through to mid game seems to be very important for some of these teams, just to try and keep them locked down, especially on, you know, signature heroes like Nature's Prophet or Arc Warden in this
Top
case.
lane. It's quite a bit of damage from the battery assault. I was thinking about this lane and I was like, at this point, is it possible we'll actually get Wolves early from a Lycan, right? Because the battery assault used to be considered a pretty decent counter to Clockwork, because back then the Wolves were the first thing you skilled on Lycan and before this whole Feral Impulse thing. And I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, you just don't though, because the Feral Impulse is so ridiculous. I mean, he's Timbersaw, right? Like, at this point, after all these buffs, that, you know, you can tank a full battery assault.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't even matter. He's 1280 HP with treads, 13.3 regen. That's not a tango going, folks. That's his regen.
Dire are
What a
scanning.
hero.
Yeah, especially if you know, having these cogs push you back and burn your mana. You think of the old Clock versus Jug lanes, and the ability for Clockwork to kind of fake out the cogs, force a spin, or you just put the cogs down and burn the mana and make sure there is no spin. In this lane, Lycan, he has Howl and maybe ulti that he needs to use. So Clockwork loses a bit of the potency from cogs. Obviously, like you're saying, battery assault is there to do damage, but
I mean, if he ults, he can probably just kill Nikwa. Actually.
Could be a possibility.
He might be able to man up on him.
Nikwa is farming though. I think that's pretty good for them. What is he, 34 and 13? So he's getting
one of the richer Clockworks you'll see.
Tons of levels and a massive amount of gold flowing into his pockets. As Thompson finds a double damage rune. Well, Lissash playing very forward though with the Arcane Curse, but a nice little tree cut there, and the Silencer is just going to get chunked down. The Viper Strike out onto Thompson though. They'll get the trade. Elisasas gives his life as the Clockwork hooks the Viper, traps him in the cogs. The reaction, SFT, they TP many in. Cancel, one hit away from death. The rocket flare. Is that a level 1 rocket that just killed you off? It is. And in the oh, hello. In the meantime, it's not just the middle lane that's dying. Legion, in a 1v1 against Necro, Illidan clears her up.
With the scythe, too. Damn. Wonder how that went down. Illidan's healthy. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell. I got down here pretty fast and didn't look like he'd ever been that low, but some sort of a play was going on over there.
Oh, well, she died near the creep camp, so there must have been some kind of pull shenanigans where she was contesting, and maybe Legion got the upper hand very quickly. Ghost Shroud comes out. That nice little last word. Good against the Ghost Shroud, isn't it?
So good. Can't do anything after. Sansa just in general, very good hero against Necropos.
You can pop your wand, but you can't get the Death Pulse out, and Necro will swiftly buy as much of the Force Staff as possible, of course.
That sends Thompson up top with all these rotations, so this will probably be that big recovery mode where they just try and 4-man around the map. I think they have pretty damn good heroes for it, though, on the Radiant.
Is this okay for Thompson, though?
I think so.
He's actually diving pretty deep here, looking for Patos, burning through a lot of the Legion's HP, purging off a nasty spell from Arc Warden, but look at how many Spark Wraiths there are. Thompson dives, gets the kill. Meanwhile, down towards the eastern jungle here, the Clockwork. Nikwa hook shots in onto the onto the Lycan. But the Battery Assault not going to do enough. Quetzal comes in with a nice little impale onto this tier 2. The Radiant are diving deeper and deeper. Reaper's Scythe, that will secure them the kill. But it's a support Nyx and not the Lycan that they wanted.
Yeah, and up top, Viper just kind of chased Thompson through the trees, but the Spark Wraiths, of course, are letting Thompson see him, whereas Viper doesn't really know what he's up to, and then he just TP'd mid lane. And he found a regen room, so good thing he didn't go back to base. So nice use of spamming all his skills, heading this observer ward. That's good game sense too, to not TP home that scenario, to see the regen rune mid and go there instead.
And now he's closing in on the Hand of Midas. It's going to be here by like 12 minutes or something. Not an atrocious timing. Not the
double Midas.
Yeah. Not the worst, but by no means the best. Bit of a push onto top tier 1. Still about 45 seconds until nighttime, then we'll start seeing that really effective howl come through from Exotic Deer. Clockwork struggling to really deal with this though. Catapult and 2 tanky heroes up on the front lines. His tower's not being committed on though, and drops into deny range. Oh, they see the Nyx mid. Thompson has a sentry there. But Kinguin knows that they see him.
Oh, Nikwa, it didn't work! He got the one cog! Man, Nisha, that was some nice micro movements right there.
Meanwhile, Thompson, Arc Warden, very early aggressive plays, kills off the Silencer. He does lose his clone over to Kinguin. But that moves him even closer to the Hand of Midas.
Jeez, those Spark Wraiths do a lot of damage. 280. So it's just like walking up near his own shrine and loses like a quarter of his HP. Oh, now a DD rune. Alrighty. Is
Nisha okay here? Goes for the Viper Strike. Silenced though by ST, and in the nighttime the Reaper Scythe comes in from Illidan. Good overwhelming odds, but stun misses. Arc Warden doesn't get far enough away, but Illidan has so much regen. Kills off 2. He's going to get dueled up though with a sick hook shot from Nikwa. Catching Elisasas. Illidan surviving. He's got regen. He's got more than enough regen. If he can get another kill here, he can turn around and do a bit of battling. ST, Arcing Coast wears off to avoid him up, but it's an Ultra. Illidan, he does everything. The heavy lifting on the backs of Illidan. This Necrophos comes in. Sure, they lose the Thompson Arc Warden, but who cares?
Beautiful play by Nikwa. The extra damage from the Silencer, who was on the high ground, would have been enough for sure to bring down Illidan during that duel. But Nikwa comes through, interrupts it, gets the kill on the Silencer, and is able to help turn around that entire gank with the Illidan outside of the duel afterward.
And that decision...
Very slick stuff. And that's so important for Clockwork too, right? Like in this support role, or in this actual core offlane role, you need to keep snowballing. You need all these kills, because he's only got the Blade Mail for now, which he needs against the Legion Commander, and he needs against the Lycan. But he has to find his way into Force Staff, so it's important that he's getting that first core item really early.
Especially in such a position where your Necro has been dueled and there's a Lycan. and you're coming from, you know, like an angle over here.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, in that snap decision-making period, I would be like, right, I have to hook shot here and stop the duel or slow the duel down. But you're absolutely right. The silencer there, he hook shots that, stops all the glaive damage, all that nonsense coming in. The Lycan and the Legion, they're gonna do their damage regardless, but stopping that was really, really top-notch.
And now Nikwa again. He's a little surprise in store for this Legion commander. Hello. Where the hell did this guy come from?
He just slips through the trees. It's a good global from El Lissash as they try and take down the Night Stalker. They'll succeed, but it looks like they're losing 2 for this as Illidan piles the damage in with another double kill. He continues his streak, 8-1 and 1 now on this Necro, and Kinguin, they have to back up. They're the ones retreating. And while they're battling up top lane, you know, they're looking at this kind of 4v4 scenario. Lycan's pushing bot lane, okay, that's nice, but Arc Warden is farming mid, and that really is the scary thing. You've shut this guy down significantly, but he is catching up. Net worth-wise, he's only just behind the Lycan. Like, literally 80 gold. Now he overtakes with that tower being taken by Illidan. Arc Warden is 4th in the net worth. After all of that sweat, blood, and tears, the effort you put into killing off and stopping the Arc Warden, the matchup you had with a Viper up against him, and now he's pretty much equalized. He's back to normal.
Yeah, now you understand the whole matchup and everything too. Just like they just don't care. You just send him in. This is a little bit worrisome though. Nikwa all alone. He can make his way out of this one. That would be mighty impressive. It looks like they're not going to commit in, but he has no TP, so either fight or die for Nikwa.
Well, they send the clone forward. Mix Assassin catches the Night Stalker. Illisash is obliterated, and Illidan, he wants a bit of a scrap here. Pexu's running forward towards the cores, but they've retreated. It's the Nyx who falls in the back. Now Pexu in a 1v2, drops the Serpent Wards, but taken out of the game immediately. The Mask of Madness popped by Nisha, trying to sprint away, and it looks like they've created enough of a gap. There's no mana remaining on STST. But again, Kinguin, they're trying to make things happen, but SFT are so snappy with their reactions. You know, we saw this against OG, we saw it against Team Tuho. When one of their heroes is in trouble and they know that they can come and do something about it, there is no deliberation, there is no waiting time. Thompson now going to get chased down by the big angry wolf, but Nikwa could have the cogs to save him. He's looking for it, pushes the Lycan back, but he's already dived the tier 1. So Arc Warden falls. El Lissash won't get hit by the Spark Wraith, so he's okay here.
Yeah, that was a bit disappointing, I'm sure, for Nikwa. Just trying to find his way in to save his Arc Warden, but no matter what he did, it looked like it was probably just going to be all 3 of them in the cogs, or, you know, no real way to save Thompson from there.
You know, someone in chat has just pointed something out that I didn't notice.
What's that?
Jeronex2, thank you. Illidan has 2 magic wands.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I guess you get one to 15, put it in your backpack,
you put it in your backpack,
and then have another one to 15. Then you've got 30 charges potentially to cycle through.
Is this the cool Necrophos thing?
Seems sick. Seems good to, honestly, seems good to me.
Yeah. All right. Mega value. I feel like if I was gonna have one backpack one, I'd just keep it as a stick though, not like the full wand.
Yeah.
Maybe
probably.
that's just me. But obviously Illidan has tried this method, so I should not be doubting. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious, actually. I haven't noticed that one before. I'm sure someone else must have done it, but it's pretty good.
Oh, Viper. Hello. Clockwork's here. Nisha. I don't think there's really much escaping from this. He pops his Mask of Madness. He does get to the shrine, actually. This could open things up. And yeah, SFT, oh, they decide to retreat, and now they want to go back in. The TP starts. In come the Dire team. Serpent Ward's down. There's the global. Viper's still alive as Clockwork tries to bash away at him, but Nisha, tanky, runs back down the ramp, and now Peck's in trouble. The cogs are down. Camp's all going to fall, but a good 2-man stun. Lands down onto them. A 1-for-1 trade so far as Nikwa has to retreat in the back end. What the hell's happening over here? Illidan, be precise. There we go. I will take your life. Godlike streak for Illidan's Necro. Still a decent fight for SFT. They didn't get the Viper, but they might be able to get some more here. Patos doesn't have Blink. Very poor on the Legion Commander. And with ST sprinting forward with a Void, they're going to try and go in. Battery Assault, force that forward. Cogs push back. Reaper wants to get in there onto Patos, and it looks like they've got it as well. Of course, Illidan is the one to take the kill, continuing his beyond godlike streak now with 11 kills. SFT, they've really set the tempo for this one.
It's such a good game for Illidan. This is very similar to our game earlier with Secret when we had mid one on the mid Underlord, but you try and find a solution for a lot of these heroes that honestly Greaves just doesn't feel quite as good as he used to because the mech doesn't feel as strong as Pipe, so people are trying to look for other solutions to pop themselves out of global silence. The Yules we talked about before, but again, I feel like Yules has always been a weaker option. It's cheap, but it removes you from the fight at some of the most important moments. So you just buy early Lotus Orb and good armor against the Legion Commander as well as the Lycan. Obviously the active can be used for other things while global silence is down. I wouldn't want to go on this guy. Look at this thing. 16 armor.
How do you touch him? How do you do it? Kill everyone else and then try and finish him off at the end. Smoke out from Kinguin after Roshan has been taken here by the Radiant. Tier 1 still standing mid. So this long kind of snaking movement through.
Hey, this is where you find Arc Warden though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ellis Ash, he got revealed. He stepped too close to a tower or something.
No, that's really tragic. Now Thompson knows.
Yeah, and now he gets out.
Oh dear. That really is a big blunder. And SFT.
But it looks so honestly, it looked like he was just walking in line with everyone else, but something must have happened.
He's got a bit too close to the tower, and now Nico on the high ground, spotted by the Star Observer Ward. Yeah, he's blown the hell up. They pop global for it as they look for ST as well. He has 10 stick charges, but with this Wolf chasing through onto him, the Howl going through, 200 plus damage with the crits, of course, coming out. Really no chance of escape. Here we go with the nighttime coming back up. This is when SFT will just wait to respawn, reconsider their actions. They did take the tier 2 mid while this was all happening. Well, they can start using this Aegis to actually close out the map, get the final objectives out there, and make sure that Kinguin can't do any of that nasty 5-manning or any of the split push with the Lycan and his Necrobooks.
That was a nice grab considering the Radiant hit Aegis. If only they got in Thompson though, it would have been so much better. Like, you finally get a good play, but you're still probably a little tilted because you're just, you know, we were... Maybe they don't really know how close they were, but they were damn close to finding him.
Yeah, I think they probably knew.
Yeah.
You're so close to that perfect play, right? So
Yeah.
there are very few things you can do when the opponents have Aegis and you're about to find that sick pick off, and then you get the you got the 60% play instead of the 100% play. But
Thompson is so grossly efficient. It's oh my god. He's like walking through here, throws down the vision with the flux, and then with the spark rate, and he's able to minus from the high ground and then kill the other one with his clones, and then it respawns so you can farm it then, but efficiently dead this time. So they do get the big grab that they wanted. Looked like he might have been pressing a few too many buttons and not realized they were running on in there with that lane pushing. So just like I was when I was admiring him pressing all those buttons.
Nikwa might even get jumped here. Oh wait, hang on, Legion.
Oh, it's time for the swap. Illidan, oh, he sold it. He just sold his wand. I watched. Oh,
I know.
Illidan, just a cool play.
I know. He never even used it, did he? Never even used it. Oh well. It was a nice little gimmick that maybe could have worked, but I'm not going to get shown off in this game. Clockwork, Force, Blade Mail. Yeah, he's moving into that Aghanim Scepter. How long do we have an Aegis? Under 2 minutes, a minute and a half now. I should be able to get them this tier 2 up at top lane. And it looks like that is where they're going to start converging towards. Thompson, TPs to their northern shrine. This Dire Observer Ward won't see him though, unless he comes a little bit further south, but likely he'll go and rejoin his team and start farming this Dire jungle side. So Kinguin do what really they only can, is take the tier 1 bottom lane, take control of this Radiant jungle, try and trade off for the tier 2 there. SFT might not be in a position to come back and defend. Oh, okay.
We saw the real Arc Warden moving up this way, and they pinged it, so it doesn't look like they're going to want to fight into this with the snakes down.
They're going to go high ground here. There's 1 minute for Aegis to go. The Wolves are scouting. Illidan up on his high ground. They're following him around. All pack animals they are, but Kinguin come back to defend. Their tier 3s, Elisash and Nisha. Throw a little bit of poison over towards
Nyx is
Illidan.
wrapping Invis through the back too, trying to find Thompson. Oh, but it's just going to be a bit too late. Not that it would have mattered, honestly. There's no allies around to capitalize on this.
Lycan wants to go in, though, with the TP used by Thompson. He's chased down by the Necro units. Magnetic field is there, but in comes the Lycan again. He just runs straight into it, doesn't care. He's not a ranged hero. He can sprint forward and...
Oh, he needs to micro his units and get them ahead of the clockwork.
And full staff, hook shot. Oh, hello! Niqua lands it. In we go. Exotic Deer trapped in the cogs, and the rest of the team comes through. Illidan, he'll slice him down with the Reaper's Scythe. They get the secondary as well with the Shackles. Latching on to the Nyx. 2 for 1 as Thompson says, well played. My life for the cause.
Rough. And now that's a Radiance complete on Necrophos as he wanders over to the Dire Shop to pick it up. Bit of a missed opportunity perhaps by Exotic Deer to survive there. Although there was the Force Staff on Niqua, he made it a lot easier for him by not having the units in front of him. There were a couple chasing him and attacking him, but he had both Necros out and both Wolves, and they're both just biting at the heels of Niqua. And that will help get him to the point booster.
Oh, this is an interesting smoke from Kinguin. 3 heroes. 1 Observer Ward down in the Radiant jungle, looking again for that Arc Warden or the Necro. Wait, Illidan has just manifested a Radiance out of nowhere, it seems. All of his gold gets spent into it. Doesn't have the Aegis anymore, and they'll be waiting for that next Roshan as Kinguin, yeah, the smoke doesn't appear it's going to actually come to anything. They scan down towards the south, looking for someone hiding there, but SFT, they're grouping up as 4, and they're starting to play around the Arc Warden a little bit more, or Thompson's starting to play around them a little bit more, farming like, you know, 2,000 range away, making sure that he's always within reaching distance of the rest of his team.
You can see where the gap in the net worth is coming from, though. Both supports on the Radiant are worth about 10k, both of them on the Dire, maybe about 6.7 area, and then there's also a 2k gap between the Clockwork and the Legion Commander. So it's mostly in the bottom half of the net worth. It's not so much up top. You know, Arc Warden and Lycan pretty close. And then Necrophos is a bit ahead of the Viper. But it's those guys down below that are making the big gap here. And your Shadow Shaman having a blink is a pretty big reason because of that. It's so handy right now. Lycan fears it. So he needs to get Diffusal Blade to deal with Illidan.
Yeah, he's going to have to. And even the Silencer fears that blink Hex from Rasta. If Ellis Ash is the one that gets jumped, they lose that blanket of safety, the global. And their team fights honestly become like infinitely more difficult without global, because they almost require it to be able to get a blink duel and actually kill the target without being hexed or silenced by Night Stalker or darkness being popped. There's lots of nasty little things, even just a cogs pushback at Ellis Ash, found by Illidan. Niqua gets the hook shot to cancel the TP. That'll be another kill for your Necrophos. 13, 1, and 3. He really is having an amazing game, isn't he?
Having an amazing couple of days. Sadly, well, I don't know. I don't know.
The poor Polish boys.
Yeah. They're also trying. I know that all these things are having some troubles with like certain qualifiers and stuff too, so you feel bad for whoever loses from these things, man. It's tough. There's so many tournaments, and then there's like only certain ones you can play in, because if there's no open qualifier, you have no chance, or even if there is an open qualifier, you're still playing through this giant bracket. Everyone's just trying to make it to land, man. But this is an impressive performance from SFT. They definitely look like the deserving team at the moment. Last time Niqua was playing this well, he got kicked. Gotta watch out.
Bring back the Niqua Phoenix. Bring it back. Let's see it. It really was.
It's okay though. If there's anything we learned, if you kick Niqua, it does not end well for you.
That's very true.
So, hopefully that lesson will be enough for SFT to keep him around.
I mean, they kicked Niqua, then had, like, oh, whoa, hello. How has this happened? They got some reveal somewhere. Night Stalker flaps his wings, gets over the Roche Pit barely. Catches with the Void, the slow is there. Good force staff up into the high ground, but now Nisha put himself in trouble. The global, oh, if this is enough to save them, then Ellis Ash has done a great job, but STST back into battle again. Hobbs is magic on, Niqua with the cogs. looking for a bit more action, but Nisha, the duel in the back, and there's the magnetic field. The good idea runs inside of it, and he's looking for Thompson. He'll bring him down, but Patos equally being brought low, not dead just yet. Illidan just used up. The Ghost Rider's gone for the Reaper side. He'll get the heal. 20 stacks of Death Pulse. He's going to clear them up. Elisash wants the final hit in onto the Night Stalker, but how many? 31 stacks?
It went up to 31. He got the triple kill on the Nyx.
Jeez Louise. So all said and done, what happened here? 2 for 3. Lycan and Silencer survived. The Serpent Wards were dropped. Pretty even with the old gold swing there. A little bit of a favorable experience exchange going the way of the Radiant. But Illidan on this Necro is just manhandling Kinguin.
Well, what's crazy is the damage the most was actually from Nikwa. He had 3,206, probably from the Blade Mail, I'm sure, for the most part. But I'm impressed he could even out damage an Arc Warden and a Necrophos with a Radiance here.
Yeah, that's...
Into the buildings he will go without an Arc Warden. Look at that. Jeez, I have to pop a shrine for that? That sucks.
Apparently so. Well, it's not much damage into the tier 3. 104. Gonna get some more done now though with the creep wave arriving. No Aegis on Illidan though. This is getting pretty scary. He'll full snap away. There we go. So Thompson split pushing bot with a clone. DD Rune spawn top with a Roshan. Classic stuff. Classic stuff. Forts down by Thompson as he will come in. And Illidan collects the double damage. Kinguin, they need to contest this. They need to get in there. Nice carapace.
Spark Wraiths are so dumb, honestly. They're so how do they just hit into his units? What a hero.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Oh, that's a full Mjolnir with a force staff.
You want to fight into a blinking... oh, here's my fake. Kill your whole team.
And I'm going to take your Nyx down to half HP. I'm going to force your Viper to run down to low ground. Here's the Mjolnir as well with the Global coming out there. Get the 2-man stun. Aegis taken though. Illidan has it already. The duel onto the Arc Warden. Winner for the Legion, but they're still going to deal with an equal clockwork. We've got into the cogs and now the scythe. Down goes the big bad wolf. The Lycan's taken out of the game. Nisha has to try and turn back for something. A kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Anything. Give me anything. But he's being duped. He's being kited. He's got the crippling fear on him with that silence and the mischance. He will get nothing. Nothing, Trent.
Oh, this game.
They killed Thompson. That's
again.
Pretty much been the theme of these fights. Kill Thompson, then we all die.
Hope for the best. Yeah, Illidan is just he's too much, man. Necrophos. And he's got the damage to back it up too, of course, with the talent and the radiance. He can still hit buildings, even if they don't have Arc Warden here.
Yeah, no Serpent Wards, no Arc Warden. 231 damage. Now up on Illidan as the damage does start to come out from Patos and Elisash. Illidan just sprints forward over the Ghost Shroud on. Apparently doesn't care too much about it, but now all of his mana has been burnt out by the Nyx. They'll take the tier 3 and retreat. Oh, nice little carapace. The blink. Patos with a duel. Hook shot from Nikwa. Illidan still not dead. Still not dead. Magnetic field's on him. He's still not dead. Trent.
I don't think he feels like dying today. He's done now.
I don't think Illidan can die in this game. They go now for the barracks as the Legion commander is buying back with the Nyx assassin. They have no Lycan for 10 seconds. Their lane is gone before they can even respond. And now there's a full Lincolns on the Necro.
Yeah, so those dual initiations, the Viper Strike, one of the better tools they have up against them. But if Exogdeer can get the mana burn off from the Necro, perhaps, he can just help pop the Lincolns as well as drain. Like, that's definitely one of the big counters we're looking for when it comes to Illidan, right? Is these Necros. At least what it should be, because he's got the Diffusal Blade. Once he's the BKB, that might open up enough space that he can actually get on top of him. And if they get that kill, I actually do kind of feel like they could start closing this in if they kill Illidan a couple times. It feels possible. Doesn't appear to be, though, but it feels like it should be.
There are options. Just executing those options are very, very tough. And there's so much nonsense coming out from SFT to defend Illidan. Something that I didn't see, I don't know if you caught it, but Lycan has the cheese, so during the whole kind of kerfuffle inside the pit,
oh yeah,
Aegis got picked up by Illidan, but the cheese must have been picked up by someone else. Not sure who it was. But Lycan has it now as they move on forward with a blink duel onto Nikwa. This will be a good pick-off, but the TPs, well, one of them is coming in at least. Thompson looking for a trade. Next assassin. Carapace is there. He does not have him. Oh, he's got the gem. Whoa, 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 whoa. Katsuo has the gem. If Thompson can kill him off here with a couple of spark raids, Katsuo, he's got a carapace, he's got a stun. He's trying to run. He's trying to run. There we go. He'll dodge the damage. Yeah, won't get the gem away from him, but that was close.
What an annoying hero. But yeah, back home he goes to the gem. So that's one grab for them. Adds about, or takes away about like 1,300 from the lead. A lot of that going on to the Legion Commander. She's trying to get a BKB. Lycan is almost there. But they're coming back. They're ready to battle. They have level 3 snakes. They got level 20 talent, plus 4 wards. Summon. And your buildings are in trouble. Although I don't know if they can hit the melee racks. At least the back line won't be able to, that's for sure.
Interesting placement. We still have another minute on the Aegis, though. Thompson sends his clone forward, as Illidan just sends himself forward. Into the magnetic field he hides for now. The glyph from Kinguin holds them back for a couple of seconds. But Illidan just turns and battles. He's got Reaper Scythe and he'll throw it in onto the Nyx. There we go, regen starts to flow. Oh, this Lycan, they're going to kill off the Shadow Shaman, get the damage in, or are they? The Cogs magnetic field, they're keeping him alive. Peksu saved by Thompson. Exotic Deer chases in, but the good force step into the high ground. The Global does nothing. They're going to turn and fight. Exotic Deer has to run. The Serpent Wards kill off Elder Sash. He walked into the wrong neighborhood. A double kill for Peksu and GG's cold. It's over.
Lotus Orb on to Peksu so he could get the stun. That was pretty slick. Quick plays all around. And swift victory here from the Arc Ward boys. Jeez.
Very, very slick.
That started pretty rough. The lead was starting to build. It was about 2K or so for Kinguin, but they weren't ever able to like press the advantage with the Legion Commander. I don't really feel like, did she ever start ganking early?
Got her blink very late. You know, we were looking when there were a couple of people ganking into that dire jungle, like the kind of northern east, the bit of the jungle that was closest to the dire base in the northern part. You know, that far east.
Yeah.
Camp. Legion was there with like 1,300 gold treads, and it was 17 minutes in or something, 16 minutes in. Gets killed off there, and that's the blink dagger delayed for another 2 or 3 minutes. When you need the blink right then and there to be able to actually go and, like you say, turn that laning stage advantage into something more cogent, but it wasn't to be in game number 1. It wasn't to be. What do you think Kinguin can do up against this? It seems that SFT have such a wide variety of nasty heroes that they can pick, but they also seem to just know how to play with each other. Like, they're all on the same page. Their reactions are snappy. Their movements across the map, there's no hesitation. It feels like there's no redundancy for SFT.
Oh, what do you do? Arc Warden and Monkey King first phase, and then try and play some Dota, I think. That will be my goal if I'm playing next game. Let's go with that.
Let's find out if Kinguin followed Trent's advice. We'll be back in a little bit with a Monkey King and an Arc Warden. First phase banned, hopefully, in a little bit. Game 2 coming up shortly.